Diagnostics, a helping hand with your land.
Neil from Essex out today with Kubota's new SVL97 track loader. This is the large end of Kubota's track loader range, having gone through and had gone from an SVL90 to 95 and now a 97. Going to walk you around this machine here today and show you some of the things that have been improved. In order to understand the SVL97, you first need to understand the SVL95. This is a class of machine, because we're over 75 horsepower, that requires DEF fluid in order to scrub the exhaust. Most of the industry has struggled with a particular Bosch sensor that sits in the top of the tank that measures the quality of that DEF fluid. Unfortunately, that DEF fluid off-gases ammonia that can go up and corrode the insides of these sensors. The SVL97 was a machine that really struggled with, or 95 was a machine that really struggled with this. We went through several iterations of Kubota trying to get that sensor right and get one in the tank that would last for a really long time, up into the thousands and thousands of hours, like is required for a machine like this. Finally, here several years later, we're through iterations of that sensor to the point that we have that, and that is now fixed in this machine. Part of coming out with a new model number is to reflect that those issues are behind us now, and we've had enough hours on those new sensors to prove their worth in this equipment. So happy to be able to say that the SVL97 should be able to break from some of those issues that you would see on 95 machines. Now, every one of those pieces of equipment that is out there are getting these sensors updated. Kubota generally is really good about not letting people hang with mechanical issues. This is one of those things that will be addressed. So the 95 had gone through some changes to turbo hoses and now DEF tank sensors that should update that machine to most of the things that are now included from the factory on the SVL97. Speaking of DEF, one thing that we often get a request for from our rental customers is to have some kind of locking cover over top of the DEF tank. Unfortunately, when somebody goes and puts diesel fuel into these things where DEF fluid belongs, you very quickly will ruin some of the sensors and stuff inside the tank. And in a rental situation where you may have an operator that's not familiar with the machine, that can happen all too easily. So in the case of this, a rental organization or a contractor, whoever, is able to fill that DEF tank up and then lock the cover closed in order to keep an unknowledgeable person from putting diesel fuel into the DEF tank. Some new technology is available now that's coming along as standard equipment on the SVL97, and that is Telematics. Now notice that I said here standard equipment. These Telematics devices are available to retrofit back onto a lot of other existing Kubota equipment. So the prior generations of machines and a lot of the excavators, other machines that we sell today, can have these Telematics boxes put onto them, but in the case of this one, it's coming through as standard equipment. And given the history of this DEF stuff that we've talked about here, you can see why. By plugging this into the machine, you're going to be able to take all that engine diagnostic information, push it up to the cloud to Kubota, where they can manage the fleet of SVL97s that are out there and watch for problems on this equipment before it may happen. So if they're able to aggregate all of that data, the mining of that data can help those guys watching warranty and engineering issues and that kind of stuff identify these kinds of problems long before they happen. So in the case of this machine, this thing's going to come through as standard equipment, giving that data to Kubota, but also giving it to you. So you can go through and put the My Kubota app on your phone, and it's going to give you all of that operational information about this machine on your phone. So you have obviously GPS location for theft prevention and geofencing to know when a machine leaves a given area, but you're also going to be able to go and run through all the engine diagnostic information, checking your hour meters, fuel levels, hydraulic temperatures, what else? All kinds of stuff that comes off that engine diagnostic connector, all flowing up into that app that's available on your phone. We run this on our rental fleet here. It's a really useful feature to us. It's something that we've heard from customers wanting for a long time here now. For the guys in particular that do hourly billings and stuff for their machine, can very easily get that information conveniently off of their phone to pass that on through their billing. So cool thing in the case of this machine, 3 years of this service coming through as standard equipment. Another standard technology that's being put into this machine is a backup camera. So now over here on my right hand side, we have a little separate screen with a camera on the back of the machine that gives you a look backwards. Now, if I'm perfectly honest, I'm a little disappointed in the way that this came out. If we look over in the KX-5 series, that machine got a nice upgrade and a 7-inch touchscreen and stuff in order to put all of this information on. Again, we're really taking that SVL95 and adding some technology to it and recycling that model to go through and show the forward progression of it, but this is not a refresh of the technology and the monitor and that kind of stuff in the same way that the Excavator series was. I suspect someday you'll start to see that stuff float in here, but that's an engineering effort that's not complete at this point, and by adding these things into an existing machine, Kubota was able to come out with this new model much more easily. So happy to see the screen over here on the side. I like that it's here and always on and not something that you have to toggle back and forth through. I probably would tweak the camera position a little bit further to the rear rather than being on the back of the cab, but it is a decent system, and this here is very solid. Sometimes these add-on camera systems, you end up feeling like something is scabbed on or doesn't mount up real well. This over here on the side of the machine is rock solid. When I push buttons and stuff, it doesn't flex around. And this Voyager system is a well-known camera system in the industry. It is something that's of much better quality than some of the Chinese stuff that you might pick up on Amazon or eBay or whatever. Good quality stuff that we're used to putting on heavy-duty equipment. We've always found the SVL95 to be an extremely capable machine. Its capacities for pushing, the strength of its boom, the hydraulic horsepower and capacity that's available in the machine have always kind of hit the sweet spot for our customers in that trade-off of bleeding edge performance and mechanical simplicity that Kubota is known for. The 97 is not changing any of that, so the underpinnings of the SVL95 are all still here in exactly the same way. I suspect over the years, like we've seen here from an SVL65, eventually there is more innovation happening in this space, but today mostly what's happening is the recycling of that 95 and the addition of that extra technology and backup cameras and telematics kind of in order to improve the machine's technology for what's offered today. If you're liking a little bit more of a deep dive on this machine and considering purchasing one, if you go look back at some other videos that I would have done on the SVL95 where we've actually put them in the dirt and operated them and talked about mechanically how they're put together and how they work. All the details of that machine are going to apply to this one as well. Currently here coming out of COVID, the next 20 of these things that hit the lot are already sold, and so I can't take a customer machine out here and dirty it up for you today, but we have done that in the past. A lot of great content on our channel that's going to help explain these machines in much more detail if you're shopping for one. If you're looking for one that we can help, or if you have parts and service needs for a machine you've already got, give us a call at Messick's. We're available at 800-222-3373 or online at messick's.com.